I've done a few steps. I got some pictures. I'll probably just throw them in as I edit this this video. So and kind of fill you in on what I've been doing and how I've been doing it. So the command bridge is upside down right now, just in case you're wondering. So all the plywood that was underneath, it was rotten, so I kind of removed it all, got rid of it all, and I got some new stuff in its place. And I just made up a template with some brown paper or whatever, and just made a template and I done it. When we look at the edging right here, there's a little bit of a lip that was very, very flimsy. There was an aluminum trim that went all the way around and kind of dressed it off a little bit, but I decided just to fill it in with the resin, and so it doesn't create any issues down the road. So then, yeah, I just put in some milled fibers and some anti-sag as well, just as a filler. And I made a peanut butter mixture. I put it on the fiberglass. I used a small plastic trowel, put it all on the fiberglass, put a layer of it, and then put a layer on the bottom side of this. When I put it on, it all squeezed out, and you can see a little bit of the squeeze out going through there. So I think I got a real nice layup. So what I want to do to further this is clean up around here. When I lift up on it, it's a lot solider than what it was, but it's still just a little bit flimsy. So I'm going to put maybe 2-3 layers of glass on top of this, and then when I do it, I'm going to wrap it down around and maybe just go in here just to strengthen things up a little bit more. As you can see, it's coming pretty good. I just got the corners to clean up. There's some plywood in behind here, and then it created this little ridge right here. So I just obviously, as you can see, I just grind it down, sand it down right to that edge, and then I'll clean up this corner, clean this up. But it's come rather, it's definitely a lot stronger than what it was. So yeah, and that's, like I say, 2 layers of 1708, and I used epoxy resin on the bottom. So okay, stay tuned, I'll be back in a bit. So like I say, it was late yesterday afternoon, evening sort of thing that I got this done, so it hasn't quite been 24 hours, and I don't want to make the same mistake that I made on the other stuff. And I found that when I was grinding, it was kind of gumming up. It wasn't coming off in a fine dust sort of thing. So I'm just going to let this cure for until at least midday. I think it's like 8 o'clock here this morning, so I'm going to let this go for another 4 or 5 hours and come back to it and then just finish it up. But it's cleaned up nice. Say the corners, I think, are still a little bit wet where there's quite a bit more resin, and but overall it's yeah, it's coming well. Hey guys, so today is Thursday morning right now, and I just put a little bit more of a thickening epoxy mixture on the corners right here, and I'm quite happy with the way this turned out. So yeah, a little bit right here along the edge right here, filled in this little void right here. Give it a little rough sand, and put a little bit more thickening epoxy in this corner right here to strengthen this all up. So all in all, I'm happy with the way that turned out right now. I think we're good to go. I think the next step would be to turn it back over, finish off the dash, whatever I'm going to do there, and then start addressing this flange right here. So I have to build up this flange, get some more meat, another couple of layers I guess there, so it's not as flimsy, and I got to repair. So I guess that's the next step. We'll talk to you guys in a bit. Okay, so here's the top side. I got everything grounded out, ready to set some fiberglass in here to build it up to where I need it to be. These were all just old cutouts for electronics and controls, gauges, whatever it was in the past. So I gotta clean those up, fill those in, and get that stuff dealt with. Oh yeah, that's a lot more salt. So again, you can see the squeeze out. This I kind of just took some of that off before it dried. And then I just clamped it all in place. Had tons of clamps. I got some screws in it as well. I'll fill those screw holes in. So you guys get the idea what I'm doing. I'm just tapering this a little bit more than what it was. Again, so it has a little bit more grip. This area right here was, I don't know, it had a little hump or something in it, so I got to grind this all out and then get ready to infill it with more glass there and make it all the same. So I'm just going to go ahead, spare you the boring details of grinding, and yeah, I'll come back when I get some more done. Okay, so I just finished cleaning everything up. So as I said, I brought everything back just a little bit more. It's probably a good inch now, all the way back. Just used acetone, cleaned it all up. So now it's ready to fill these pieces in and see how that goes. So I'll yeah, see if I can record a little bit of that as I go, and then we'll keep on moving forward. So I just got the sanding of the command bridge done. So as I mentioned, I got the plywood underneath, and then I infill all these. I put about 6 layers of chopped strand matting, and put it on there. I just used laminating resin to put these on. And this was the worst of it all, just because the edging right here was so thin where the cutout was from the previous owner or whatever they put in there. This is going to take a little bit of time, so I'm just right now preparing it to do the fairing, and I'll put the fairing on and see how that goes. Okay, pretty happy with that. I'm just going to leave it, let it dry, and then I'll sand it and see where we're at after that. So, got all my epoxy filled, used up, all the fairing stuff is used up. So, I just wanted to give it a thin coat, fill in all the little dips and that sort of thing, and then come back with another sand, and it'll almost be ready for paint hopefully after that. It's a Monday here, and I just put the fairing on this morning, the second coat of fairing, and it was only a skim coat, so I'm pretty sure it's all cured up now. That was early this morning, and now like I say, it's early afternoon, 3:30 or something like that. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'll probably sand the fairing off. I also used epoxy and I filled in the bigger holes. So I'm going to deal with those. I'm going to sand them down, grind them down. Okay, so all these little screw holes, I went around and drilled them out. So whatever size they were, I don't know, they're probably, I don't know, what were they, an 1/8 or something like that, or 3/16. For the most part, I used a 1/4 inch bit, and I just drilled them out. The purpose of that would be to give some fresh material down through the whole thickness of the material, so the epoxy would take a good hold in everything. On the bigger ones, I just used a small step bit, and I stepped it out just to open it up a little bit more so the epoxy would take. So what I have to do now is get my little Dremel, and I need to make a sand around this area so that I can fill them full of epoxy. And yeah, I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Okay, so I got it all sanded, guys. Turned out really good. You can see some of the areas. This was the number 1 fairing. This was the second coat right there. And yeah, turned out really well. Really well. So this infill, I'd say the hole was about this size. And you see that I sanded it out to a hole about that size, so it'll have lots of material. That's about 1 1/4 inches, about 1 1/2 inches right there, I guess, and all the way around. So it's not fully cured yet, so I just thought I'd leave it and then come back to it later. So I'm going to go ahead, get the Dremel out, and I'm going to start dremeling out all these little holes, getting those ready to do the infill. Morning, guys. Next day, this is Tuesday. So last night I filled in all the holes for the screw holes, for all the fasteners for the windshield and stuff like that. So I'll just give you an idea what it looks like now. So as I said, I would drill out the hole. So most of these I were drilled out to about 1/4 inch, and then I just took my Dremel tool and just made the surface a little bit bigger, so it'll be more of a surface area for the epoxy to grab onto. So it's all sanded. I need to put a bit of fairing over each hole now and just get all the there. So there's some little pits and stuff that I need to fill in for final sand. So yeah, well, that's about it. All those holes are done. My goodness. I got the fairing on all the little hole spots that I've patched up, so I just put this on, so it'll be dry. Tomorrow I'll give it another quick sand and see how it comes out, but I think we're all good. On the dash, I'm thinking really about just leaving the dash as is. I put some more fairing on a couple little places that I found were a little bit low, so I put another coat on that. And on the top of this here, where again some of the screws were some of the fill-ins, I went around the edge just to give it a nice radius here, so I'm gonna probably hand sand that out tomorrow. And there we go. So most of this top side is done on the command bridge. I just have to deal with the flange, yeah, starting tomorrow, I guess. and give that some thoughts how I'm going to do that. So